righty, folks. Here we are. Rockcrusher, race number 3 of the Mississippi Gravel Cup in Ackerman, Mississippi. Fun-looking route here. Lots of twists, lots of turns. The organizers do a great job of putting up comments and areas where you need to be aware. I've had some athletes do this one in the past. I've not done it personally, but athletes who have done it. If you're doing the 100-miler, you're essentially doing 2 loops. 50-miler is actually 52.9, as you can see. This is not 98% gravel. Don't worry about that. So some things to note here. Neutral rollout until around the 1.7-mile mark. So neutral rollout until there. Then you go straight into this downhill section with deep gravel. You want to be near the front. One of the guys I coach had lost bottles here before on this descent. So gravel there. You end up having a paved road that you jump on real quick. You need to watch for traffic. And then you jump straight back into another downhill with large, deep gravel. So recommendations, be near the front. It's much better to be able to pick your own line or leave a small gap so you can see what's coming and you know what's coming. But that's going to be a better situation than getting caught off guard, especially in deep stuff. But personally, I'd want to be in the top couple wheels or even first so I could pick my own speed, pick my own lines. Then we dump off that section there, and the next thing of note, really, let me go down here, is going to be this section. So mile, you got a steep little section here, mile 9.8, but then this is kind of the long grind on the course. If you're looking at the bottom of the map, you can see the profile here. This is kind of the grindy section of the course and culminates with a note saying a good spot to catch the racers climbing a 20% grade. So I went ahead and dove over to my athletes' data. You can see same looking course here. And here's that spot. So if we zoom in on this, you can see these sections and the wattage increases that happen over here on the right. 7% for that short little, 36 seconds there. Tapers off. Another little kick. 4.5%. Another little kick. 2.7. Here's a bigger spike right here. 6.5%. And then here's the steep. I think this is the steep one. That says 9.1, 11.1. So a steep little kick right here. Always a little bit unreliable when you're looking at the GPS-related grade. But if we look at the whole section, around 8 minutes for this person at, much higher than their threshold. So a hard section, above threshold effort. Be ready for it. So 100 milers, you're doing it twice, obviously. But be ready for that segment, and that's going to come pretty early in the race. So as with any of these events, especially if they're longer, especially if you're going to be dipping into that VO2 and anaerobic energy, you need to make sure you are fueling. You want the carbs in the system. You want to make sure you're replenishing the carbs so you don't get behind. So if we, after that steeper section, nothing super crazy. You got some shorter little hills, which is to be expected from this gravel series, but nothing really super crazy here. You got a few watch for traffic areas. You got the aid station, which is in a nice spot where you can hit it multiple times. So that's around the 32-mile mark. And then you see it again at around the 41-mile mark. So options there. Good chance that if you're with the front group, there's not going to be stopping there. The Great American Scream Machine, that's the descent. I like the name. But descent, again, anytime you're on a descent, always good to be near the front or on the front. Over here, shallow water crossing at the 47-mile mark. If it's been raining, obviously there's more increased chance for more water running through that. Fast descent photo op, again, all these little short downhills. Try to be in good position for those. And then the finish to the line, you got some steep little kickers. So this is one of those where if it were up to, if it was up to me and I was with a group and I was feeling good and I wasn't trusting my sprint, 49-mile mark, I'm putting that on my handlebars. I'm taping it there so it's in my mind and I know at that point, it's time to hit the boosters. If you can create a gap and if you can get some separation by that 52-mile mark, it looks like it's pretty much home free to the finish from there. And you start getting into this technical winding section. So always good to be, if you have a gap, anytime it's more technical near the end, a greater chance of staying away. If you're in the mode of, I want to finish, I'm not, you're just trying for your best time, which is awesome. That's a great thing about gravel. You got some that are trying to race at the front. There's some that are trying to race against a PR. There's some that end up in groups and end up, kind of racing against each other, helping each other out, making each other suffer. All of those are what makes gravel so awesome. If you one of the big things, if you're going to be out there for longer, hydration and nutrition. It's going to be a cooler start. That's usually typical. Cooler starts. It's easy to overdress. So layers are key. We recommend layering and stuff where you can regulate temperature with zippers. So personally, I am not a fan of base layers. I know a lot of folks that are. I know a lot of folks that do great with that. But personally, I overheat with base layers and I overheat with anything covering my head. So something to consider there. If you're going to be able to stop and take clothing off or take off headgear, great. If you're not and you're worried about overheating, I would recommend starting without it on. You could even put it in a pocket in case you decide that you're freezing cold and need to put it back on. But there's the rundown. We hope that provides a little bit of info. Again, big things are early on in this race. So have the spidey sense rocking and rolling this first 13 miles. Make sure you're alert. Make sure you're staying in safe positions. And it should set you up for a great finish to your race. All right, crew, that's all we got. As always, trust your training. If you got other courses that you would like us to take a peek at, dive into, give input, give feedback, let us know in the comments. And that's all we got for now. Peace.